Hello, Internet. So, how could video games be used for education? Well, I have a few ideas, but before I get into listing my ideas, welcome to the Empirical Sword. I'm Lomaster DLC79. I'm an INTJ. I'm a gamer, and I talk about things, sometimes in more depth and for greater lengths than people want, and they want to tell me to shut up. I don't listen. But back on topic, video games being used for education. And full disclosure, they already are being used for education, but I think they could be better utilized. I won't get into what they are being used for right now, because I like to focus on the future. Where can we go from where we already are? So how could we better utilize video games for education is probably the better title, but it is what it is. And to really give you an idea of what I'm thinking, I think I'll tell you about how this idea first popped into my head. See, lately I've been doing research into investing and trading, the whole stock market-y, Bitcoin, blah-de-blah thing, because eventually I need to get into that because my sucky job doesn't pay a lot. And, well, the truth is, to go off on a little tangent, the truth is, real economic security lies in diversifying your income. That's a little tangent, a little sidebar, a little sidebar, a little thing over here that is only remotely related to what we're talking about here. But in researching all of this, I started thinking back to a game that I played a little over a year ago. A little MMO, massively multiplayer online for anyone who's not a gamer. And I don't know why anybody who's not a gamer would be clicking on a video that's branded as INTJ Gamer Talk, but whatever. For anybody who's not a gamer who doesn't know what MMO stands for, massively multiplayer online game, the G is silent, as in it's not there. Anyway, the name of the game was RuneScape, if anybody wants to look it up. But in this game, there's this massive free market, where a lot of players make money by flipping or merching. Essentially buy low, sell high. Hence why this whole investment thing had me thinking back to this. And a lot of the principles of real-world investing were applied to the whole merching phenomenon in RuneScape. So I just started thinking, I mean, one, investing and trading should be taught in school. Should be. It's not, because schools are really designed, the majority of schools are intended to train you to become a factory worker, and factory workers are not the wealthy elite. So you don't need to know how to manage your money, aside from, and you know what's, okay, this is turning into a completely different video than what I intended. But yeah, the whole investing and trading thing should be taught in school. And I just had like a really neat kind of brainstorm on how that can be done. These students and the teachers, let's say junior year, freshman year, you learn all the book learning and stuff. Junior year, you start doing mock investments, following the real stock market and whatnot, and you're just kind of following along. Junior year, this is where video games come in. Junior year, all the students and all the teachers across the entire planet, all of planet Earth, all the juniors and all the teachers on planet Earth run or participate in this virtual economy, an MMO, if you will, where it's the teachers who are providing the supply and demand. right now the idea is very abstract. So I don't know what virtual products there would be. Although in a way we could actually look at like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and they're essentially virtual products. I mean, economically speaking, they're currency, but for tax purposes, they're considered to be personal property. They're essentially things rather than money, as far as the IRS is concerned. So that's uh, kind of what a virtual product could be. I'm not saying definite, because I mean, so we're talking about the future and all this. We're talking in the subjunctive. So these things might happen. This might be what it looks like. We don't know. Maybe there's a better way of doing it, and someone smarter than I am can figure it out. But yeah, all the junior level students and all the teachers are in this like MMO of this essentially a virtual economy, and the students essentially get virtual training, you buying and selling in this virtual economy. And then of course senior year, again, this is sidebar land here. Senior year, this is where a lot of people would disagree with what I have in mind. The schools give every single senior student $100 with the condition you can do with it whatever you want, but at the end of the year we want it back, and if you can't pay it back, we start charging interest. Yes, schools giving children money, but I mean, in context, the book learning, the mock investing, the virtual MMO training, at that point, students will be very well prepared to do real world investing. This is education right here. So the school's giving all these senior level students $100. They can easily double that by the end of the year, if they're smart and if they actually learned. That would be the final exam right there for that course. Other examples, I mean, virtual businesses. I mean, virtual surgery training, or virtual internships. Today we're going to be doing like a VR thing of, this is what it's like to be a surgeon, or this is what it's like to be an accountant, or this is what it's like to be a lawyer. You're putting students in all of these different situations as realistically as possible. I mean, video game technology has come a lot in the past few decades, or come a long way. Come a lot. This is me thinking about the ideas I want to present, and not so much the words I need to use to present them correctly. But your video game technology has come a long way in the past few decades, and I think it's like already at the point where students could be put into these virtual jobs just to see if they like it, just to see how quickly they learn the practical skills that need to be implemented in order to be good at those jobs. I mean, one of the things that kept troubling me, even at the college level, was like, what job am I good for? I mean, how do you know this? Nobody's born knowing this. And very few people tell you how to figure this out. What if, I mean, just imagine a world in which, one day you're an accountant, and the next day you're a lawyer, the next day you're a surgeon, the next day you're a general practitioner, or you pick a job out of a hat. You're that for a day in a virtual setting, and you get to see how you like it. Imagine how much easier it would be to choose a career path if you've already sampled them by the time you're 18. You know, I think this is the real educational potential for video games, providing virtual training and just virtual, lifelike snapshots or glimpses of what professional life is like in different careers. It's like, why aren't we already working on this? And I know the world is slow to change. I'm impatient. Anyway, I think that's kind of a good sampling of how video games could be used for education in the future. Ideally, the very near future, like tomorrow. I know that's not going to happen. Not tomorrow, at least. Maybe next week. No, not the way the world is. But yeah. And speaking of how school needs to be improved, I should mention the school doesn't teach. We have to be the masters of our education. And if you want to know more about that, I have an entire playlist where I talk about the things that school should be teaching, but isn't. I will link that to you at the end of the video. It's probably like right here, right about now. Yeah, right here. Click on that. And yeah, whatever video you're watching next, I will see you then.